Hey, what's up, folks? How's it going? This is Avijit here, and welcome to DevOps Challenge Hub. So let's start with today's interview question. And today we have some advanced level questions from IAM, but it's good to know. I will just discuss the concepts. I won't get into the nitty gritty, but it's definitely good to know the answers. So, what are the permission boundaries in IAM? If you go to this Amazon documentation link, you can get the details permission boundaries in IAM. So permission boundary is you are setting the upper limit. So when will you use it? Let's say uh, you are admin, means you have given access to create users. So now since you have the access to create IAM users, and for testing purpose, you may want to create more users. And by mistake, you may create another user and may give admin access. But your organization doesn't want that, right? Because it's a security risk. You want to just give them maybe only S3 access, but by mistake it may happen. So when we are creating user, we can set a permission boundary. So let's go to the user, and after going to the user, we can set the permission boundary. Let's say DevOps Challenge Hub. This is the user, and then user DevOps Challenge Hub. Then go to permission policies, permission boundary. Yeah, click on this permission boundary, and then you can set the permission boundary. Right. So what are the permissions boundaries? That is the upper limit. That is the limit you cannot cross. Even if you modify, let's say one fresher joined your company, and initially he has access to read access to history. Then he asks for delete access. Then he asks for delete access. By mistake, you have given delete access also. But initially, since he is learning, we don't want to give delete access because he may delete the prod database or S3. So we want to set a permission boundary so that it doesn't happen. So permission boundary in AWS Identity Access Management (IAM) are advanced feature that sets maximum permission an IAM role or user can have, even if the user is granted more permissions through their policies. They cannot exceed what's defined in the boundary. So in a policy, you have given a IAM full access to IAM, but the boundary you have mentioned that you cannot go beyond this. The IAM policy grant permission. Permission boundary restricts permission to a maximum limit. So effective permission is intersection of IAM policy and permission boundary. So even if you have given some access to, let's say, delete or terminate EC2 instance, but since permission boundary says no, this is the maximum thing you can have, you cannot cross that limit. So use case, imagine you are a developer, create your own IAM roles by automation. You want to ensure that they can't give themselves full admin rights. Even if they try, you apply a permission boundary that says you can create roles, but those roles can only manage S3 and Lambda, not EC2 or IAM. So suppose you have IAM policy, which says that allow S3 everything you are giving access, but permission boundary may say that only this is the maximum. Initially, you can give S3 get object, it will find. It will user will have only S3 get object. Then you give the list bucket. User will have list bucket also because it is a in permission boundary it's allowed. But you cannot cross the maximum boundary. So even though IAM policy allows all S3 actions, user will only be allowed to perform get object and list bucket due to permission boundary. The permission boundary is upper limit. So they are attached to IAM roles and users. So we can attach to IAM roles and users, not to do. They mainly used to control delegated access and enforce security guardrails. So it's a security guardrails. How do IAM roles work with cross account access? We have discussed this cross account access. How does it work? But how will today we'll discuss also, like you have given access to cross account access. Like we have seen that roles we can go and give access, right? In uh, IAM section, we can go to roles and then we can give access to the cross account. Roles create roles and then account. AWS account, and another account, another AWS account, account ID, etc. And then you can give some, you can create some role. So account A has S3 bucket. B wants to use that S3 bucket. So IAM role will be a gatekeeper. So you create a role that is a gatekeeper, and here you can create that role or trusted entity AWS account, and you're mentioning that AWS account ID, that other account B account, and you create a role. So create role in AWS account A, and now you're mentioning this that account ID B, root user or whatever user, XYZ user, to be able to assume role. That I trust all users in account B to assume this role. Or you can particular user also you can specify, then add permission that it will be able to read files from my S3 bucket. You are adding that permission. So once that is done, so that from account B, from it can run this AWS command, AWS STS assume role. So this command it has to run assume role ARN account A ID colon role/role name. So account A has created a role. So role slash role name, role session, my session. And then you will get a temporary credential. So you have already AWS configured, you have configured your account B, and then you are able to run this AWS STS. Account A has created role for you, and you are using that role, and you are getting temporary credential. Access ID, access key ID, secret key. Using this temporary credential, you configure, and then you can access the bucket. So this STS is what? Secret token service. STS, Amazon STS, AWS STS assume role, secret token service. Role ARN, Amazon resource name. This role I'm assuming. I'm taking that role, taking the role. So create a role in account A, and that role should trust account B. JSON trust policy. Then add permission, grant limited access, S3 read only example. Then you can assume role from account B. Use STS assume role. AWS CLI can use. Then you have to use that role. Export temporary keys and use that. STS is security token service. It will give you temporary credential, short-term limited access to AWS resources. So it helps avoid hardcoding permanent credentials. Credential can be available for 15 minutes to few hours. So used cross-account access, CI/CD pipelines, federated users, etc. So user app calls assume role from AWS CLI. STS check whether trust policy allows that caller. If allowed, STS returns temporary credential. Credential are used to access AWS resources. Permissions are based on roles permission policy. Roles permission, whatever it allows, it will be allowed. So when you can use assume roles in DevOps surveillance for switching a role from maybe staging to prod, list privilege, ensure list privilege to give access, build, deploy steps. Next question is, what are the service control policies when are they used? What is the service control policy and when you are using it? When do you use it? So when you have one account and if you AWS account, and if you want to manage everything from that account, like QA department, DevOps department, HR department, and you want to use tag, resource you tag, QA tag, this tag, so it becomes complicated because from same IAM account you want to manage. You want to give some independence to QA account. Whatever QA team resources are joining, let them handle that QA team. So what you do, you create an organization. You create an organization. Instead of handling from everything from this IAM account, QA, DevOps, development, you create an organization, AWS organization, organization. So you create AWS organization, and from this AWS organization you can handle multiple accounts, and there you can create a service control policy. There you can create a service control policy. So I have created another account. So I have created one account for QA team. QA team, there will be admins. Admins will be able to add their, this will be totally separate account, QA account. And that QA account, there will be admins. There will be like a QA team members. They'll be able to manage. But at the organization level, I have created a service control policy. I've created a service control SCPs or service control policy. So what are service control policies? It's at organization level. Set the permission guardrail for the AWS account level guardrail. It's an account level guardrail. So in this account, nobody should be able to launch EC2 instance, let's say. Or nobody should be able to create EC2 instance in maybe US region. Or they should be able to create EC2 instance only in Mumbai region. Because our, like for testing purpose, we want to create, let's say, only in Mumbai region. Right? So I can create that service control policy, account level policy. Right? So I can set that. Set that guardrail, account level. SCP do not grant permission, they only restrict what can be done. So once you set that, once you go to account level, you will see that you are not able to view all this. Here I'm able to see so many regions, right? But there you won't be able to access all these regions if it is set at the account level, at the organization level. So service control policy, they are permission guardrails for the account, do not grant permission, they only restrict. Think of them as a master switch rules across account. They apply to all IAM users, groups, and roles. So I've created a QA account. So whatever admin groups, user roles are there, for everyone, same rule will be applied, high level. That they will be able to create buckets, let's say, only in this region, or only they will be able to launch instances only in Mumbai region. So that is the high level policies I'm setting, service control policy. When are SCPs used? To enforce security boundaries, to block risky service, prevents use of EC2 IAM in dev account. Maybe I have created another developer account. I don't want them to launch EC2 instance. Maybe they can manage the job with GitHub code repositories, then S3 bucket and Lambda functions, ECS container. Don't want them to launch EC2. So I will block that, restrict them. To allow only specific regions, only API southbound, only specific regions. To limit service based on environment, no RDS in the test account, database not required in the test account. To ensure compliance and centralized control in large organization. At a large organization, centralized level control. To prevent account audits from overriding organization-wide policies. Account admin to provide override organization-wide policy. Account admin by mistake can override the policy. So at the organization level, I can set that up. Okay, so let's go to today's quiz section. What are the permission boundaries in IAM? What is the main purpose of permission boundary in IAM? The permission boundary main purpose is to define maximum permission an IAM role or user can get. So user level, permission boundaries for the role or the user level. How do IAM roles work with cross-account access? What allows an IAM role in account A to be used by user in account B? So trust policy in account A's role. So in account A, we have to add a trust policy in account A's role. So answer C. We created a trust policy in account A. Which of the following is a valid use case for assume role in DevOps? Monitor SQL is now deploying resource to another AWS account securely. Deploying resources to another AWS account securely. Answer is B. Next question is, what are service control policies when they are used? What is true about SCP in AWS organization? SCP gives full access to all service. No, SCP sets permission guardrails across account. So permission guardrails across account. Permission boundary is a permission guardrail for user and role. And service control policy is a permission guardrail across account. What happens if SCP blocks an account but IAM policy allows it? Action will be denied because it's a high level. SCP at a high level. Even if IAM policy allows it, SCP at the organization level, account level, it's denying it, right? So it's account level. Action will be denied. So that's it for today. Hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also follow Devos Challenge Hub LinkedIn page. I organize quiz contest daily, and you can participate in the quiz and contest. And also subscribe to WhatsApp channel. I regularly update. And thank you for watching this video. See you again in the next video.